step into the golden era of American muscle cars with the legendary Dodge Challenger 1970 to 1983, born to take on the Ford Mustang and Chevy Camaro. The Challenger offered everything from stylish cruisers to raw V8 monsters like the 426 HEMI and 446 back. From the racing-inspired Challenger T to its unforgettable Hollywood moments like Vanishing Point 1971, this car became a symbol of freedom, rebellion, and pure horsepower, even as emissions laws, fuel crises, and regulations reshaped the industry. The Challenger refused to fade away, leaving behind one of the most iconic legacies in muscle car history. In 1970, Chrysler entered the muscle car battlefield with a brand new contender, the Dodge Challenger. Positioned directly against the Ford Mustang, Chevrolet Camaro, Pontiac Firebird, and even Mercury Cougar, the Challenger was Dodge's answer to America's growing obsession with pony cars. But Dodge wanted more than just a competitor. They wanted a muscle car that could be customized to almost any buyer's taste. The first-generation Challenger was built on Chrysler's E-body platform, shared with the Plymouth Barracuda. But the Challenger was longer and wider, giving it a more aggressive stance. From the very beginning, Dodge made it clear the Challenger was all about choice. Buyers could pick from nearly endless options: hardtop, convertible, say luxury trim, or T performance trim, and even the limited production T, designed for Trans Am racing. Engine variety. From mild to wild, what really set the Challenger apart was its engine lineup. No other car in the segment gave so many choices. Dodge offered everything from a modest 225 cubic inch Slant 6 to small block V8 South like the 318 and 340, all the way up to legendary big blocks. The crown jewels were the 426 HEMI V8 and the 446 back, engines that cemented Dodge's place in the muscle car Hall of Fame. The Challenger T, with its bold bumblebee stripe and optional shaker hood scoop, became a street icon for those who craved pure racing pedigree. The 1970 Challenger T offered a high-revving 346 bat engine, side-exit exhaust, and road racing suspension, though it was built in limited numbers to meet racing homologation rules. Style and culture. The Challenger's styling was muscular yet sleek, with a long hood, short deck, and aggressive stance. Buyers loved the car's ability to be anything they wanted: a stylish cruiser, a luxury ride, or a no-nonsense drag strip machine. By 1970, Dodge had sold more than 76,000 Challengers, proving they could hold their own in the pony car wars. But as the 1970s wore on, storm clouds loomed over the muscle car market. Rising insurance premiums, stricter emissions standards, and the looming fuel crisis began to reshape the industry. 1971 to 1974. Muscle under pressure. In 1971, Dodge made slight styling changes, most notably a split grille and new taillights. The Challenger RT remained the performance star, and the mighty HEMI was still available. But sales had already started to dip. By 1972, the muscle car era was facing serious challenges. Compression ratios were lowered to meet emissions laws, and horsepower ratings dropped as manufacturers switched to the new SAE-NET system. The once mighty HEMI was discontinued after 1971, making early Challengers with the engine highly collectible today. The 1973 all-crisis delivered a crushing blow. Gas prices soared, and suddenly big V8-powered cars were seen as impractical. Dodge scaled back its performance options, and while the Challenger remained stylish, it was no longer the untamed beast it had been in 1970. By 1974, Dodge offered only smaller displacement engines in most trims, and the Challenger T was long gone. Still, the Challenger had left its mark, especially on the drag strip and in pop culture, with appearances in films like Vanishing Point 1971, where white Challenger T became the ultimate symbol of speed and rebellion. The mid-1970s marked a turning point for the Dodge Challenger, with the muscle car market shrinking Dodge had to adapt. The second phase of the first-generation Challenger, spanning from 1975 to 1974, focused more on style, comfort, and compliance with federal safety regulations than raw horsepower. 1975 to 1978, transition years. By 1975, the Challenger received significant updates, including federally mandated 5 mph impact bumpers with large rubber guards. The design lost some of its original sleekness, but it was the price of survival in a changing market. Under the hood, the most powerful engines were gone. No more HEMI, no more 446 back. Instead, buyers had choices like the 318 V8, 360, or 400 cubic inch engines. The RT trim was discontinued, and the Challenger's image as a pure muscle car began to fade. Despite this, Dodge marketed the car as a sporty personal coupe. Special editions, stripe packages, and flashy colors tried to maintain its appeal. In 1978, Dodge even offered the Challenger Rally, aimed more at looks than performance, pop culture, and competition. During this period, the Challenger's biggest challenge wasn't just regulations, it was competition. The Mustang had downsized into the Mustang II, while Chevrolet kept pushing the Camaro into a more luxurious role. Dodge's strategy was to keep the Challenger relevant as a stylish, affordable coupe that still had some muscle car flavor. 1978 to 1983, the Mitsubishi era. In 1978, the American muscle car landscape changed forever. The original E-body Challenger was discontinued after the 1974 model year, and in 1978 Dodge revived the Challenger name on a completely different car, rebadged Mitsubishi Galant Lambda Coupe. This imported Challenger was smaller, lighter, and powered by inline-4 and V6 engines instead of big American V8s. While it had sporty styling, it was a completely different vehicle. Enthusiasts often dismiss the 1978 to 1983 Challenger as not a real Challenger, but it reflected the changing times. Fuel efficiency and economy had become more important than raw horsepower, and Chrysler turned to Mitsubishi to fill the gap. Legacy of the first generation. Even though the true muscle-bound Challenger ended in 1974, its legacy carried on. Collectors today prize the 1970 to 1971 R, T, and T and models, especially those with the 426 HEMI or 446 back. These cars symbolize the peak of Dodge's muscle car glory. By 1983, the Challenger name was ready for a long rest. It would not return as a true performance car until the mid-2000s, when Dodge revived the Challenger as a retro-inspired muscle car to take on the Mustang and Camaro once again.